There we go. Oh, that's a big fish. Oh, that's a really big fish. Oh, crap. Come on, get out of that current. Yeah, that was a big fish. I'm still marveling at the day. So I went and fished. There's a small stream in the eastern part of the state that I live in that typically has some really nice west slope cutthroat. And really nice meaning 13, 14 inches what you typically catch. But that changed on this day. And I have to tell you, I wasn't expecting much. We've had some unprecedented runoff. I mean, from the Columbia River, fuller than I've seen it in years, to this particular river, which typically is this slow, meandering stream with a few rapids here and there. This thing is raging. I mean, you could barely see any character at all in the river because there's so much water flowing through it. So I decided to head back there yesterday and do a little exploring, hoping that maybe it dropped a little bit. It hasn't. And I was about ready to give up, and I was driving down the road and I saw this little offshoot that looked pretty good. Typically, there's not a lot of water holding here, so that's where I started. Now I ended up walking down this offshoot and I got into a couple little fish. I mean, kind of what I was expecting. And I mean, it's almost like a size of a small creek, so it's not going to be holding a ton. Well, it got to the point to where it emptied into the main part of the river, and man, that thing, it was cooking. I mean, it was really flowing fast. I mean, intimidating, right? Because I actually stood back maybe 10 or 12 feet because you could see the bottom, but there was no way I wanted to get anywhere close to that current. Super cold water, and it was raging. And I had a big Sculpzilla on, and I thought, you know what? I saw these little, and I think they're caddis pupa. I checked on Hatchpedia, and based off of what I found, these are caddis larvae that are sitting in their little rock and mud cocoons sticking on the rocks. And I assume that occasionally they break off or they float off when they're ready to hatch and the fish eat them. So I tied on a TJ hooker that had a similar profile and size, put it under an indicator, and I threw it on the seam of this where the this little offshoot was flowing back into the main current. And it didn't take long, and I hooked into one of the biggest fish, one of the biggest west slopes that I've ever landed, let alone on this tiny little stream that was raging with runoff. He was just sitting there waiting for my fly to land in front of his face. There we go. Oh, that's a big fish. Oh, shit. That's a really big fish. Oh, crap. Come on, get out of that current. Oh, this is a really big fish. Oh, heart's pound. Come on. I got 4X on the bottom, 3X on top. I've got room here, just gotta get him in the shallow water and out of that current. Oh, strong fish. Oh, big fish. Oh, heart's pounding. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a good fish. Oh, come on. Oh my God, yeah. Holy, big fish. Oh my God. Oh, holy smokes. Look at the size of that fish. Oh, holy crap. Oh my God, I'm literally shaking. Look at the size of that fish. Oh my God, that's huge. That is at least 18, 19 inches. Oh my God. Beautiful fish. So I was pretty excited about this fish because I don't know about you, but you know, there are a lot of reasons why I do what I do with fly fishing, but this is certainly one of them, right? To get that just boost of adrenaline. I mean, my heart was racing. I was shaking by the time that I landed it. I mean, I was so badly wanted to put that fish in the net. So it's such an amazing feeling. It's all I think about when I'm out there fly fishing is just what I'm doing in the moment. All my other worries are gone, right? I'm just concentrating on what I do in the moment, and it's a pretty cool thing. So I was pretty excited to land this fish. Look at this bad boy. Oh my God, it's a big fish. Oh, seriously. Oh, I am literally shaking. This is why I do what I do, because I mean, the dopamine and the adrenaline rush is real, and that was a huge fish. I mean, this particular river system is not known for fish like that. And thank God I had my 5-weight, because there's no way I would have landed that thing with anything lighter. That thing was probably towards the end of its lifespan, because that's about as big as they get in here. So much fun. Man, I gotta take a breather and calm down. All right, let's get back in there and catch a fish. Let's do this, fish on. You know, what's also interesting is that I almost didn't make it that far. So I was walking down this little offshoot, this little creek, and something happened. I had a gear failure that I've never had with my wading boots. So as I'm crossing this little part of the stream, trying to get to what looked to be the Sweetwater, it was getting pretty slippery, and I'm like, what the heck? I've got my felts on, I've got, you know, the cleats. There's no way it should be this slippery. And I look down on my left foot and I don't have a sole. Evidently, when I was walking through the mud, it pulled from my boot. So whether or not I had that little tab hooked on to the corkers all the way, but I couldn't believe it. It actually pulled from the bottom of my shoe. So I thought that thing was lost, but thank goodness on my way back, I was backtracking where I walked. I could still see my footprints, you know, squishing in all the mud, and there it was, orange side up, so it was easy to spot. And I got my sole back, and I'm happy about that too, because those things, as you probably know, they're not cheap. It's probably, I don't know, $50 for a pair of those, especially in my giant size 15 soles. So super happy to have found the sole to my corker, because that would have been a tough walk back. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I crossed downstream a little bit, and I was like, why is it so slippery? And I look, and I had no sole. I assumed it maybe I just didn't have it clipped well enough. I was getting mad at corkers for a minute, thinking that, you know, it broke, but it didn't break. I just didn't have it clipped all the way on, and the suction of this mud took it right off my boot. But thank God I found it. Almost turned back too, and I would have missed that massive fish that I caught. So that's cool. Let's get it back on the boot and get back in the water. So after that marvelous fish, I mean, it was just like, it can't get any better than that. So I had a long drive home, so I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna wrap it up and I'm gonna head home. And as I'm heading home, I passed by this lake, and I thought, you know, how cool would it be to go catch a different species of fish? Maybe I can land a brook trout or a rainbow trout. So I stopped, I had my rod still all set up, made the cast, and was pretty happy with what happened next. There we go. Fish on. Nice. It's like a little brook trout. Sweet. Look at that. 2 species on the day. Pretty little brook trout. Look at that guy. Nice. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me on today's fishing trip. Just a great trip, and holy smokes, one of the biggest west slopes I've caught in a very long time. Thanks so much for joining me, and hey, if you want to see an epic brown trout outing in Colorado, you need to check out this video right here. If you like 20+ inch brown trout on the fly rod, I think you'll enjoy it. All right, everybody, until the next time, fish on.